Good morning, guys. I'm going to do a quick recap of how I start my mornings. It's a bit choppy, so I'm not really doing too much to start the day until it shows me which direction it wants to go. So it's Wednesday, February 19th, around 10 a.m. Eastern. So I start my day looking at the ES. Kind of track it throughout the morning, and then when it starts, I try to see if it's staying above or below this 15-minute 200 SMA. So I'm on the 15-minute chart, and I've been using this blue line as the kind of bull bear line for the day, intraday only. So I want to see if it gets above it or below it. So you can see right here, this was at 5:15 a.m. It broke below it. I think there was some like China news or something. I don't know. Doesn't really matter as long as it's not like dropping like crazy. So this seems pretty normal, and it got to this level. So I'm like, okay, what's significant about this level? I've had like an alert set here. I mentioned Adam Mancini on Twitter. He's been great. I also just look at my own levels too. So I see, okay, why is it going down here? And before I jump to kind of the significance of this level here, it's going to show these two red lines. Kind of just draw like what's like a megaphone here. So I look at like the recent high from the breakout to the back test low, and then I see, okay, it dropped a bit lower. So could we maybe be building a megaphone out here? And then after that, the direction, we'll see the true direction. So I wouldn't be surprised for us to get all the way down here, and then maybe pop back up there to, what is that, 6170-ish area. But it's critical for now is like until it gets above this blue line, I'm not like going crazy adding longs. There's this one long that I added today, and I'll talk about that. So let me flip to my trading view so I can show you some charts. Okay. So now, turn off the other one. So if we go to trading view, you can see I'm on ES right now. So let's look at those levels. We had 61.30 where we are. So that's happens to line up with the bottom of the sweet spot, as you can see. So that doesn't worry me too much. I kind of want it to bounce back and forth. So it could be a decent spot to start some longs. I'm kind of, again, this week is Vixpiration and monthly OPEX. Again, wouldn't be surprised if it gets down to this, 61.15 level. And then we maybe push higher, or even here to the 20-day. That's, 60.95. Wouldn't be surprised if it gets there. The bottom of that, like megaphone thing that I was showing is around 61.15. So that would line up with the 8 EMA. So kind of would prefer us to start here, and maybe I'll start adding some longs there. And then hopefully we push up all the way to this top of the sweet spot at some point. Hopefully this week. Tesla is the only one that I'm kind of looking at as longs. So, this is a name that's been kind of this downtrend, broke down out of this flag pennant right here, and tested the 100-day a couple times, broke below it, created a failed breakdown by trying to get back above it, and now it's sitting above the 8-day. Would like to see it obviously get above this 20-day as well and have this 8-day kind of cross above it. So Tesla, when it gets going, it kind of ends up being like a freight train. So I did add some shorter term calls on this in case it gets some momentum. So I got it. I set up an alert anytime it crosses the 8-day moving average. So you can go to your watch list, and I create an alert on the list, and I can say, hey, if it's crossing the 8 EMA, for example, let me know, and it'll alert me. There's a bit of a delay, but I'm trying to see what I can do to fix that. But I also just flip through charts like a lot. Lastly, I also look at, I refresh this screener that I have where it says crossing above the 8-day and is also sitting above the 20-day, and it's sorted by relative volume. So you can see APPN, that's at the top of the list. I'm not sure if they had earnings or something like that. Array, I know SolarEdge SEDG had earnings this morning, and they have also a lot of short interest. So short interest you can look at on Finviz. It's a website, Finviz, and then you can see if it's sitting above 10, ideally above like 15, 20, then it's got some short squeeze potential. So maybe solar names start to act better. One name that a couple names that I've traded a bit are for solar. So that finally got above this 8-day right here. It's sitting above the 20-day. This has been a total dog since basically Trump got into office. Like totally just downtrend. It was like 300 plus back in June, and now it's just been trending downward since. But maybe it's just best in breed in the space, so maybe you can start jumping higher. So yeah, so I kind of use that to see, okay, what are names that are starting to move a bit. Terra, been a popular name because Druckenmiller's in it. That's good to see that it's on there. Maybe look to buy that. And then I also look at generally what stocks are above 8 and 20-day. SolarEdge I mentioned, huge move on that. If you see right here, yeah, so jumped up, it's dropped a bit, so kind of hit its head before it even got to the 200-day, but maybe a trend change there. Lastly, Golden Cross. This is another one I look at. Is there anyone that's changed? Corsair. So let's look at Corsair. So the 200-day, the Golden Cross is when the 50 crosses the 200. So you can see right there, the 50 days trending up and crossing above the 200-day. That gives me a sense that this is starting to break out of its long base, where it's been just absolutely terrible. So, name I've seen show up on my screener a lot lately, as it kind of holds above this 8-day this entire way, and now huge spike. I think this was earnings. Yeah, it was earnings. Yeah. So yeah, this could continue on to potentially, I don't know, could get up here, so maybe another couple bucks. But yeah, it looks a lot healthier, and then maybe it just pulls back a little bit to the 8-day and kind of grinds its way up. Anything else that I want to share? There's also the bearish view. But yeah, this is kind of, I look at the screener on a regular basis, kind of check it, refresh it, see what names are popping up, and then just get a sense of like what's moving today, and then I kind of go from there. So anyways, that's a quick recap of kind of like what I'm looking at. Let's quickly go back to the ES. Doesn't look like much has changed since then. Still holding that 61.30 level. And yeah, I'd like to see us start, maybe we pop up to this 200 SMA on the 15, then maybe pull back here, and then we form like a little inverse head and shoulder. So there's a shoulder there, there's a head, and if it forms like another shoulder there, then maybe you can start pushing up higher. Again, could break down here. Anything is possible, and just watching to make sure it doesn't make any dramatic moves below this region. Ideally, doesn't want to get below 6100 by too much. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for the time.